Okay, guys. Ancient Warrior, welcome back to Prepping USA. Had a friend of mine ask me the other day, he says, I noticed your videos aren't getting too much airtime. Nope. Maybe not. I don't do this because I'm trying to draw a big following. I do this because it gives me something to do. But also, folks, you don't want one or two people putting their beliefs in front of you. You want to have a diverse community to help you figure out how to get this done right. When I first got back into prepping years ago, there were no books. There was no way to figure out how to do it. Heck, at that time, you couldn't even find Mylar bags. I was reading Mother Earth News, the American Survival Guide, and stuff like that. Today, information runs rampant. So let's talk about how to change hearts and minds. I just talked to a friend of mine whose son is a Marine out at Pendleton in California. They live in the town of Oceanside. His 8-year-old went to school, and apparently they'd had a minor earthquake, and some of the kids were all afraid, as small kids do who are not used to the ground shaking under them, as I would be, because I'm not used to it. And the boy accidentally made the comment in earshot of his teacher, who is a rabid liberal, from what I'm being told, that he didn't have to worry about that. His mom and dad had food, water, bandages, and bullets at the house. Number one, the teacher went to the principal, who went to the child guidance counselor. They called Child Protective Services. And this young man and his wife's life became a living nightmare for about 6 months. The young man since has left the Marine Corps, and he's living in St. Louis, Missouri. Because of his training in the Marine Corps and his schooling, he works for the Department of Emergency Management. He works for FEMA, for those of you wondering. His dad and I have been friends for 35, 40 years. When he was telling me this story, I just kind of shook my head and said, I've heard this before. California, Oregon, Washington, New York. The real liberal states tend to do this stuff. So let me point out to you, the best way to change hearts and minds is to introduce it incrementally. Just a little step at a time. Never, never, never. What did I say? That's right, the word never. Never let anybody know exactly how much you've got in preps at the house. Because, folks, that's setting you up. If you have children in school, they could be the point of ridicule. You could be having to deal with Child Protective Services or other idiotic groups. You know, one friend of mine, him and his wife were put on a watch list by the county they lived in out in Oregon. I guess it's Climacus County, because they were preppers. And most of the time they like living off what they had in their gardens. Folks, introduce this to people in small amounts. Tell the kids to keep their mouth shut. Now, why am I saying that? I'm sure I've said in another video somewhere, loose lips sink ships. Folks, that's true. Saying too much can get you into a lot of trouble for no good reason other than you said too much. So please, be careful who you talk to about prepping. Be aware that prepping is a way of life. It's not just a fad today. It's something you have to be willing to commit to 100%. Now, does that mean no more vacations, and your idea of a vacation is going out to the bug out land and building? And no. Give dedication to this, but also at the same time, be willing to understand other things in your life has to happen. So, with that being said, this is the Ancient Warrior. Have a blessed day. And remember, if you have food, water, and protection in your home, you live in free America. If you don't, oh well, welcome to the FEMA camps.